Well, welcome back. So, to get started, what did we do last time? I believe I worked on the wood, a lot of browns, did the sun. I think Ho-Oh, I got distracted doing Ho-Oh. Oh, and I fixed this berry up. So today, green. I'm going to get some green. First, I'm going to do the Pokemon fronds. Oh, look, I'm noticing a brown I missed on the couple. I'm going to bury that one in green anyways. Anyways, I'm going to try to get some greens down where I want greens. And we'll see where we go from there. I don't want to plot out too many steps, because normally when I do that, I either get distracted and end up doing something else, or what I originally planned takes longer than what I thought, and we don't get to it. Again, this piece I am painting is for the California Fire Relief Foundation. And once this one's done, I will be auctioning it off, and all the proceeds of the sale will go to them. After that, we'll likely be starting on a piece for my son with Jesse and Meowth. And then, I wanted to do something of a Kyoshu warrior. And, I've been teasing that Darmanitan for a while, so we'll figure one of those out. But today, we're dealing with eggs, so I'm going to get a little brown. Because, I want to fix up the spots I messed up last time. I just keep going back and forth right now, because I realize you can't see a lot of what I'm doing, but I'm getting the color here, and I'm going to my paper, and I'm just slowly running it over my test paper till I get about the color I want. I remember calling these two the couple, because two executor blocking a path. Maybe they had an argument. And also, on this island here, I really didn't do anything, and I can see. I'm just going to put some little spots. Realistically, I probably shouldn't have done any tree detail there at all. You know what? Something's coming to me right now, how I always say, oh, I shouldn't say that, because, yeah. You know what I remembered I wanted to do before I set down the green, and I'm glad I remembered this now? I wanted to add more to this island. And if I put the green there, oh man, that's going to mess it up. So let me try to soften my edge. So, what's wrong with the island? Well, it looks like it's too in front of the ocean, and often islands kind of wrap around. So what I thought is I could add a little bit of land jutting out, maybe like right here. There's a little something like this. Like that. That is so far off in the distance. Again, I'm not going to put any plants on that one because I might be inking them in later. It's even further in the background, so I'm going to do a fade with it. So. Again, I tested this pen, and it just continued to, I'm not giving it another chance. Different pen. Change places. Oh boy. So I always say the most important things with art is patience. Not being afraid to go back and do something again. So just, for me, that little hint of land there is, just going to free ball it a bit. There we go. It'll make more sense when the colors are, but it looks good. It's pretty much what I want. So now, where were we? Yes, colors. Colors. Colors green. That's the right side of it. So, what green did I use for these guys before? I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one. Someone, if you've seen their video and I'm wrong, go back and correct me. Too late now. The thing is, even if I mess up these colors, I can go back and color over those ones and it'll match anyways, so. Now, these fronds are from an executor. And I'm going to go over the executor with color pencil again. So again, we're just getting down little base layers right now. Because when we go to add our colors, it'll make it a lot easier to blend them, to give it a full effect, and for it to look more natural. Now, some of these weeds are going to have flowers on them as well, so I have not touched them at all. I'm going to flip this around so I'm not dragging my hand over it as much, because I'm going to be working really over here today, or for the moment. I'll probably make the grass or the biomass of plants that's carpeting everything a slightly different green than the executors. If not, it'll at least not get the touch-up that they're getting. Because I'll have to go and do the eggs at a different point. Didn't really think about that. Oh, and I'll have to make sure with the Lowen ones that the tail head, it has a slightly fresher tone, like a young coconut. You know, I'm realizing executor, so those who don't know, he's a polyform. And what happens with an executor is they grow the heads, and when the head becomes too big, it falls off, and it becomes an execute with other fallen heads. And the executor grows new heads as this happens. I imagine they don't all fall off at once. I think it's like a shark losing its teeth. Anyways, that means there's growth rates of executor heads. So, like, the tail, what I was reading, you might remember I asked in a previous one, it's actually a fully functional head, and is there for defensive reasons. So, theoretically, if that is an earlier stage of the coconut growth, if that's why it's, like, more green and less turkey, as my son says, then theoretically you would see normal executor and a Lowen executor, like with that extra tail head up on their body as well. A little speculative Pokemon biology. And of course, when I say that, I mean like if they were real animals you encountered in the wild. I think often there's stuff in Pokemon that we just think, oh yeah, that's what they look like, but we overgeneralize it, like Tangela. Tangela is a mess of vines. But if you pick up any game, I mean, it might be a little different between the games, but, well, actually, no, because they have the set 3D models now, so it's like the tangle, the pattern of the tangles of the vines is generally going to be the same over every single Tangela you look at in any given example of Pokemon, even the show, because they want to draw it consistently, more or less. Realistically, Tangela, being a mess of vines, if you had them in real life, they really wouldn't look alike. Well, I mean, they would. They'd be a big blue mass of vines, but it's just how they would be arranged would be different. Same with Spinda. Everything would be more like Spinda. Magikarp would be more like Magikarp and Magikarp Jump. As long as we're talking about big, weird messes of vines, though, anyone out there a fan of John Carpenter's The Thing, which is the remake of The Thing from Outer Space, based on the book, what was it? No, I'm Stranger or something? I don't know. Book, movie, remake of a movie that kind of took on its own thing. I mean, John Carpenter did a lot of amazing crap. Well, the reason I bring it up is the alien in there. What did you think the alien looked like naturally? Like, if it didn't absorb biomass, what would it look like? So I always assume with stuff like that, that they have like, you ever see the orcs in Warhammer? They have a general body plan, or Spore. And there's something, the movie, Evolution. Yeah, the movie Evolution, not Spore. Anyway, so like the creatures, we'll just stick with the orcs. They have a general body plan, and they have to build up to it. They're like a fungus, then goblins, and squigs, and then finally orc. It's like their magnum opus. Well, I always figure viruses like that, like the movie Virus, or John Carpenter's The Thing, work in that way. It's like they must just have like general body plans they're trying to go for or build towards with biomatter. So, like, when it came to what does the thing look like without absorbing biomatter, I always just figured it looks like, well, like a crab or something, or shapeless even, really. It's like the xenomorph. I didn't think it had a base form. I thought it completely depended what DNA it got to make it. Well, no, if you look up the thing from outer space, and I'll try to find the image here, yeah, that alien, as you can see, has a look, and it's stupid. It's like 3 eyes, and it's like licorice hair. Now, I mean, I get it. It's a unique monster, but like, it didn't really need a humanoid monster form. You know, it didn't need a set humanoid form. It's also the thing is, like, they're actually intelligent, and that's kind of scary. They're intelligent, and they can do that with their body. Like, I always thought of it more like a virus. Like, the fact it could build a ship, I thought was from, like, information it stole. Like, no, it was a fully conscious thinking being. It piloted that ship there. You know, it didn't crash because it was infecting something in that ship. But yeah, it just, yeah, one day when I found out there was a design for the monster, I looked it up. I was a little disappointed, honestly. Sometimes, it's the things we don't see that are the scariest. Oh, look, here's one of those tail heads, so. Look. Look. I should have painted some of this brown back here. Now, I'll put some vines over it and stuff, too. Well, that's one thing. I could do creeping vines everywhere. Now, that'll really help with the biomass and me covering the landscape. I'm actually going to try not to make them all exactly the same tone. Again, because this is an undercoat, and, well, like I was saying, I don't think they would all have the exact same color in nature. Shinies would be like breeding dogs. You know, as long as we're talking about colors from breeding, I've noticed, like, I used to raise chickens. Whenever you got one with white feathers, it was screwy as hell, it had health problems, it had emotional problems, it would beat itself to death. And I've generally noticed with domestic animals, the ones that are white, the ones that develop albinism, like white rabbits with red eyes, tend to be unhealthier than the more natural pattern ones. I mean, there's when they tried to breed those foxes for the fur trade, and was it like 6 generations they stopped looking like fox fur? Well, the pattern stopped looking like what we commonly would call a fox. And they got big white patches. And the reason I bring this up is, well, they tend to be unhealthier, and I always wondered that with Pokemon. Like, theoretically, if you could breed Pokemon, you would get melanistic variants, you would get albinism, and then again, the things with albinism would be less healthy. But people would be breeding them because they're like, oh yeah, I want that white freaking Clefairy. So it's like, shinies could be a lot cooler. I think breeding with Pokemon too, like they're making everything more intricate. It could be way more intricate, but Game Freak seems to want to be downplaying breeding, I guess, so they can make you buy the games and you have to, like, do their stuff to actually get them all, because you could just breed them and trade them before. But yeah, I don't think... I would be really surprised if they bring back breeding mechanics in the games. I'm just going to say it right now. I think that is behind us. Unless you play your old games like I do. I'm still breeding Pokemon because, well, I enjoy it. I like trying to breed for shinies and rare stats. It's my bingo. But, it's kind of sad because it's like, man, this mechanic could get so much better. And it can be so much more rewarding, but they're like, no. We're just going to make shiny drops more common. Buy all the games. Buy Pokebank. Screw your effort. Where's physical? No. You give us money. You give us all the money. We want the money. But that's the problem, Game Freak, is you made the past games so immersive with things people want. If you take them away, they're just going to keep playing the old ones. I'm noticing some more brown I missed up there too. So we're going to touch up some more of our brown. Get our green. Alright, brown. I think I might have mixed up my dishes. Now, they're both pretty clean for the moment, so it's not going to make too much of a difference. So, I think like this ridge here. Oh yeah, look at that. And this ridge here. Now these are going to be like volcanic stone, so they're going to be a different color. Oh, this tree up here. This I called him a tree. You know, I think if like someone, like realistically, if you were fighting someone and they busted out their executor and you called it a tree, they'd probably be a little offended. It's not a tree. It's a very powerful psychic Pokemon. Is it more powerful though than Flamethrower? Well, actually, according to my picture, the power of love and friendship would say yeah. My general experiences myself would tell me that all suffering is momentary and stuff like this that fixes it, so maybe Flamethrower isn't as effective in my joke. Good job, Ricky. You ruined your own joke. That's my thing. I have that trouble with my son a lot, is people are like, your son didn't want that in-depth of an explanation when he asked you why something is. I'm like, well, I'm not going to lie to him. I'm not going to tell him bullshit, and I'm not going to tell him something that's not factual as I know it. I don't care if it's too complex for him. Me telling it to him multiple times, he'll eventually get it. I always said, I feel like we dumb the world down for children, and we kind of do like a discredit for them. Like, we should be teaching them how to function in our society, not shielding them from it. You bring back home ec. Teach them how to balance paychecks, like how to pay your taxes. We need to teach them how to pay the taxes for the country they live, where they're held accountable as a criminal if they don't. In the public school system, you force them to attend that's paid for with tax dollars. That would be great. And I think a little bit of my hostility came out there. I've really been trying to be beyond my anger lately, and that's the thing. I was watching some yogis, and the thing is, it's not that they didn't have anger. They were so aware of it, and that's the thing is, you know, you shouldn't just beat yourself up about what you can't do. You should just try to do a bit better. Learn to recognize it. Learn to walk away from it. My point's still valid, though. Like, if you're going to make people attend school, if you're going to make us pay for the schools, you should teach the children how to take part in that system you are forcing on them. It just seems logical to me. But no, you want to waste their time. You know what really irritated me in school personally was history, because I love history, and they will not tell you history, they won't update history, and they'll give you the most whitewashed version. I mean, how many times did you, like for me, every year was the same. We got the Bronze Age, we got the Iron Age, we got the Modern Industrial Age, here's the American Revolution, here's the Civil War ended, and here's World War II, a little bit, just the part about Nazis being bad, and that we won, because we were a lot better than them. Don't ask where all those scientists came from. But it was just that over and over again. And the general lessons didn't change. What changed is just what they expected you to write about it. You have to write about it at a more proficient level, despite them not giving you new information. It was about memorization, really, of missing history. The thing that really got me, though, is like, right away. The Bronze Age, I would tell my teachers, well, actually, different cultures developed at different rates, such as the copper culture in America, which died out right when they were starting to get the technology in the rest of the world. Or like China, which developed iron at a different rate than the Roman Empire, but you go by the Roman Empire as the start of the Iron Age. You should look at individual cultures, and right about there, they would just shut me up and be like, Ricky, that's not what's on the test, you mark what's on the test. That's another thing, like, how do you expect people to care about, like, the pursuit of knowledge when you don't care? Like, why am I there at the end of the day if, not to learn, but you're teaching me the wrong thing, and then when I question it, your response is just, don't mess with it. Oh, I guess I should let it go. Let it go. I've had that song stuck in my head, and I'll show you why at the end of the video. Oh, some of you are pretty horrified, aren't you? Yeah, you're going to click off now. I promise I will not sing Let It Go. So, I got most of my Pokemon painted except the Gyarados. Well, you know what, actually? I'm already using the color that's on him. I'm going to get that in there. I'm not going to do his blues, though, because that comes when I do the water. Okay. So, I think that spike's supposed to be, like, gray. Well, when it dries, I'll erase the spike. I'll leave the skeleton belly. And we'll touch that up later. Don't let me forget to erase that. I really just had time for a short video today. So, what did we do? We got all our Pokemon more or less colored, excluding Gary. We'll get him next time. We'll probably do water next time. I really just had a moment while my son was out. I'll probably try to do more of this. I mean, you see how regularly I upload. There's these coming out almost every day, it seems. But let's go see what I was letting it go about. Alright, I may have lied. You know, I said I wasn't going to dress like Elsa. I'm going to dress like J-Rock, and I'm going to rap Let It Go. Nah, I'm fucking with you. See how it's like Christmas and all? I have like the most stereotypical tree ever. Well, we got my son this. Or we got this because my son. You know, Christmas magic and all. What's up, Olaf? I'm the only one that thinks it's creepy. That's rude, Olaf. Yeah, so I've had that song stuck in my head because of this guy. Well, anyways, have a great day, and a Happy New Year, and a Merry Christmas, a Kickin' Kwanzaa, and a Happy Hanukkah too.